Hey everybody, Carson here for Glasshouse Films. This just doesn't feel right. Better. Okay, so, Carson, Glasshouse Films, Midnight Review, emergency broadcast. Holy crap, I don't know if any of you know yet, but, people told me way too late. I don't watch the sports ball. Sunday, huge sports ball day. I know it's cliche to say sports ball. I don't care. Super Bowl Sunday. Apparently, one of the first ads was for the new Cloverfield movie. And then, at the end of the ad, they announced that it was out. Netflix just put the new Cloverfield movie out. This has been one of my hotly anticipated movies of this year. And now it's just out. And I just watched it at home. Crazy. Even crazier. This movie is so awesome. Holy crap. Oh my god. Okay, so, awesome movie, straight up. If you don't want any spoilers, stop the video here. Go watch it on Netflix. It's right there on Netflix. You can watch it from the comfort of your home. Netflix is ubiquitous. You should be able to find it. You need to watch this movie. Easily the best movie Netflix has done yet. Holy crap. That was just so much fun. Okay, some spoilers. You've been warned, but some spoilers. So, this movie takes place, you're kind of meant to assume here and now. I'm not too sure about things and the way they're put together in the wider Cloverfield universe. Okay. Anyway, it starts out, there has been massive energy shortages just everywhere. The world is kind of on the brink of just going to war with each other because all our fuel reserves are super low and nobody knows what to do. However, there's been this space station made that they're going to try out. I think they said like 400 times the Higgs boson, like particle accelerator. They're trying out this new accelerator to try and create unlimited free energy. And so this character Ava, the main character of the film, she decides, or she's kind of encouraged to go up there and you know, try this out. Her along with the rest of the crew, I think there's like 6 other people in the crew, they're working together to try and get this thing to work. And this might end up being a play-by-play review. This is going to end up being a play-by-play review. So they go up, she goes up, and they spend like 2 years working on this thing, just day after day up in space. And they try it again, and it works. And then everything just breaks to shit. And suddenly the Earth is just gone. They have no idea what happens. And this is something that I think the movie does incredibly well without ever making it feel episodic or making you be able to exactly predict what's next. A little bit of a crutch, but it works because it's so entertaining and the movie moves so fast. But what happens is after that first, after they try it, weird stuff starts to happen on the ship. And one of the first things they find out is there is just a woman lodged in one of their walls, like in between the walls, like circuits are coming through her. It's crazy. It looks like something out of Tetsuo, the Iron Man. Don't look that movie up. It's really messed up. Anyway, so they pull her out, and then one of their crew starts going wonky, and this is like my biggest issue with the film, but at the same time, it's not that big of an issue for me because, so what it is that because this is an alternate dimension and they have messed with like the rules of they've essentially created the Cloverfield paradox. That's what they refer to it in the movie, as well as that actually being the movie's title. And what happens is essentially they're chaos particles and kind of anything can happen. And so that essentially gives the movie license to kind of do whatever, whenever. So it's like, okay, we understand that crazy stuff is going to happen. We don't know what, but it's written into the movie, crazy stuff's going to happen, and you don't know what. And because of that danger, the characters need to get out of there. And what they find out is they are in an alternate universe. And what I really appreciate about this is the fact that it's not a very typical alternate universe. It's not like, oh, I flip a coin, oh, it landed heads. Well, in the alternate universe, it landed tails. No, it's not that ridiculous. It's more fine-tuned. And again, that could be seen as a crutch, but I don't see it that way. Like, I can see people making that argument, but I don't see it that way, in that whatever kind of needs for the plot to happen happens because of this. And you know, I know this sounds like I'm harping on it, but I'm really not, because again, the movie moves really fast. It's like an hour and 45 minutes and it just flew by. Like, I feel like I just started the movie and now it's over. But they figure out they're in a I won't say parallel, but alternate dimension that is very similar to theirs. There was another crew that was looking to do the same exact thing in this alternate dimension, and our universe kind of bumped into theirs and kind of knocked it for a loop. And that's really kind of a cool idea that's explored, and gives one of the characters an incredible amount of motivation, gives a couple of characters an incredible amount of motivation to do what they do. Don't want to go too far into that, but that I feel like that's actually a very strong point in the writing. And something else that the writing really does well is I feel like all of these characters are very fleshed out. Oh, before I forget, this is easily one of the best shit goes wrong in space movies and we need to figure it out, along with like The Martian and a few others. However, the difference being in The Martian, it really goes into the minutia of how each individual problem is solved. The Cloverfield paradox is, we have a problem, we gotta solve it. We solved it at some cost. And the cost is usually, with one very strange exception, usually at the cost of somebody's life on the ship. And that's what I mean by, it's like, okay, something's going wrong, this person could die. However, there's only like 2 instances where I was able to go like, okay, I know what's gonna happen. I know how that's gonna happen, because everything else in the movie is either incredibly unpredictable or it just doesn't happen the way you think it will. So I know that's a really weird way to put it, but it keeps the unexpected factor and it keeps the surprising factor really high. Like, you don't know what's going to happen next, but in the movie's own logic, it all makes sense. Now, while everything is happening in this alternate dimension, Ava's husband, whose name is completely escaping me, I know I just watched it 5 minutes ago, whatever. He is on Earth, and essentially Cloverfield starts to happen. But it's not obvious. It's not, okay, if you know Cloverfield, you know what's happening. However, it wasn't done in the same way that I thought it would be done. Again, spoilers. But in the film, there's a bit where Ava's husband rescues a small child, and right before he rescues her, you see like this thing moving through the through the debris and through the shadows, like all the kicked up dust, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, and it's happening in New York, and there are explosions and things are going wacky wrong, right? So it's like, oh, but again, not very obvious. That's not what that part of the movie is meant to do. One thing I would complain about is that it feels like those scenes were almost an afterthought to the movie. We could have had, it was like, okay, this is just to break up the movie a little bit for when we really need it, but there's only a handful of those scenes on Earth. I would have liked either more scenes on Earth or 2 on Earth and just keep it to that. The first, once Ava leaves Earth, the first one where she converses with her husband, and the very last, and I'll get to that in a minute. But the way that the film progresses, it always feels like, okay, things are happening, things are moving, we're getting there, and I like that there is the way that bickering is written into the film between the characters, where it doesn't really feel like argumentative bullshit. It's, we're kind of at the end of our rope, we don't know what the hell is going on, I'm very angry and I'm loud. And I feel like the film does a great job of using that without ever making you feel like the movie's losing steam. And with that, I think as I said, the characters are very well written. They're very well developed. And I feel like the characters, if and when they die, I was actually really sad to see them go for the most part. But special props to Chris O'Dowd and the way that he is handicapped in the film. Very, very interesting what they do with him and parts of him. Very, very Evil Dead-esque in a science fiction setting, and I think it's a lot of fun that they do that. The music by Bear McCreary, oh my god, it's so good. It fits this movie like a glove. With the first Cloverfield movie, there's really not any music that's used because it's all found footage. With what was it? Super 8. I count it. I don't know if it is, but I count it. Super 8. The music was really good in that. And 10 Cloverfield Lane, the music was very... It fit it in the same way like a Hitchcock theme or a Hitchcock music works with their theme. And it just further shows that Bear McCreary is one of the most versatile composers that we have right now. And I want him working on more stuff. And this movie, the music is incredible. The look of the film, it's very, it has its own distinct flavor, but you can also see where it's pulling from. And there are certain points where it's like, okay, the lighting doesn't match, but that was still a really cool shot. It's not often. There's only one instance that I was able to that comes to mind, but it looks really good. The whole time I'm like, damn, this looks really good. What else was I going to say about the film? I completely forgot. There was another point that I thought up and now it's flittered away. So the final scene of the movie, again, spoilers. If you've watched this far, chances are you just want me to talk about the film and you're interested in what I have to say, which, thank you. I appreciate that. The final scene of this movie, if my roommates were not asleep right now, I would have stood up and cheered. Instead, I had to do a very silent, yes, yes, kind of cheer. Okay. Ava and Daniel Bruhl, who does an amazing, all the actors in this do an amazing job in it. I'm just like, yeah, you did great. I want more of all of these people. Chris O'Dowd deserves special props, but everyone in the film doing a damn good job. So they get back to our dimension. And the whole movie, or every time they go back to Ava's husband, he's like, hey, have you guys reached her yet? Have you guys reached her yet? And that makes sense. They get back to our dimension. They get in the Ava and Daniel Bruhl's character Schmidt. They get into the shuttle. They head back down to Earth, and they're like, "Hey, we solved it. We know it. We have all systems are go. We fixed our energy crisis, guys. It's perfect. We need an emergency crew up here to fix everything and then maintain it. We're coming back down. It is not sustainable for us to be up here. We're coming down." As Ava's husband is being relayed this information, he starts shouting into the phone, "No! She cannot come back here. Send her back. Don't let her come down. Send her back. Don't let her come down." You're like, why? For why? Final shot of the film, we see this emergency lifeboat, basically, from the ship come down. Beautiful shot. See the clouds, goes under the clouds. And then the motherfucking Cloverfield monster jumps up through the clouds and roars, and you're just like, what? Yes! Has a very, very, like, Twilight Zone / like, closer to Outer Limits type ending. And now I need there to not only be another Cloverfield movie, but I need that Cloverfield movie to be about them fighting these monsters off. Oh man, they nailed it with that final shot. Just perfect. Just, that meme on the internet. Perfect. Oh, I have an interview in the morning. I'm supposed to be asleep right now. I was meant to go to bed a few hours ago. I saw that movie was up on Netflix, and I couldn't go to bed in good conscience, knowing there's a brand new Cloverfield movie on Netflix. I had to. So, totally worth it. With all of that, I'm really glad I stayed up and watched the movie. Incredible film, start to end. So happy this movie was made. Congrats, everyone behind that film. You made the best movie so far this year. Death Cure, close second, but this movie is definitely the best so far. So, watch it, yeah. I mean, I was planning on spending money to go see this movie later this year, and honestly, if they put it out in cinemas still, I'm gonna pay money and go see this again later this year. I kind of hope they do. I'd really like to. But yeah, that's gonna do it for now. Again, thank you for tuning into this special emergency broadcast of a Glasshouse Films Midnight Review. Carson, as per usual, sadly, Nick has work far earlier than I do, so he was not able to join me for this one. We might put out another one of these once he's seen the movie. But yeah, that will do it. Again, this week, still regularly scheduled programming. We are going to see 50 Shades Freed. We need to see 50 Shades Darker this week, so we can watch that movie. But 50 Shades Freed, I'm buying our tickets as soon as we can. And that's what's coming out later this week. Until then, please like this video. Subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends about it if you'd like to hear my ramblings on various movies. And then you can also find myself and this channel on a few other platforms. So youtube.com/glassfilmshouse, Twitter @glasshousefilms, and facebook.com/glasshousefilms. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you for 50 Shades Free. Bye.